All right. This is episode 252 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am Via Baller, and today we got a lot on deck. We're going to be talking more Atlanta Falcons. We're definitely going to be talking about the Georgia Southern Eagles. I'm very excited for the Georgia Southern Eagles. As you can see, my attire. Before I get into anything, I'm going to let you guys know this is not a paid advertisement. But the guys at Southern Exchange, excellent place if you want to get any Georgia Southern gear. Go to that place. Like I said, it's not a paid advertisement, but I frequently order stuff from them, and I need to take a visit down there to the store because I got a lot of punches to get $10 off of my next purchase. I got a handful of them. Need to go down there and take advantage of the next time I'm in Statesboro, but. Yeah, this is where I got the hat from. I got some other stuff for my son, my wife. I even got the ugly sweater. Excellent place to go. I mean, I really, I absolutely, recommend going there if you're a Georgia Southern fan. Great Georgia Southern apparel. Great place. Not a paid advertisement. I'm just letting you guys know it's a good place to go. I wish I would get a paid advertisement on something. Maybe one day. But nevertheless, over here, we talk about Georgia Southern football. We talk about Atlanta Falcons football. This is basically a show / podcast where I talk about things throughout the week. I do also do daily videos where I talk about the same type of stuff. And but this is going to be in podcast form. You can listen to this show on iTunes. You can listen to it on Spotify. You can also listen to it on Anchor or Podcast Addict, any of those avenues that you listen to podcasts, either on your Apple or Android device. Easy the way to find it. You can just type in First and Frame Rates. I should pop right on up. Or I think you can even put in VF Baller and it'll pop right on up. Either way, I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys for all the support that's been handed out lately. You guys are amazing as far as watching the content on YouTube, where this podcast will always be on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, this will be in video format. And just spreading the message of what I'm doing over here and what I want to do as far as putting awareness to the football, my two favorite football teams here in the state of Georgia. So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Also, I do have a Patreon if you want to see how that looks as far as extra content. That's going to be going through another revamp. I know I said this a few weeks ago, but the beginning of the year and other obligations or other opportunities that has arrived, I may have to revamp that once again. So there haven't been any daily mini episodes over there, because there's a lot of things I'm going to have to do starting the beginning of the year. I will be talking about that later on this month, closer to the new year. But nevertheless, the two topics today, Coach Clay Helton, staff hires, who he's hired, and the aggressive recruiting that he's doing. It is amazing to see how things are turning around in Georgia Southern in quick fashion. Soon as the season was over, everybody was waiting to see what's going to happen. Gave it about a week or so, gave it a few days or so, and you start seeing things change. So I'm going to talk about that. Also, I'm going to talk about Arthur Smith, with him, the coach of the Atlanta Falcons. I've been hearing rumblings in the fan base and even in some areas of the low-level media. And I think, low-level media, I think I'm high-level. I think the other guys are high-level that do this type of content on YouTube as well. But when I say low-level media, I'm talking about as far as national stage or just the reach that that we have, because we want to have that big reach of the ESPNs and the Fox Sports, but we have our own circle. We are capable of reaching everywhere because this content goes all over the world, but we're still low level as of right now. It's not going to be long, but we are pushing to break through that ceiling. Nevertheless, there's been rumblings for people saying that Coach Arthur Smith may be a one and done, or they want him to be a one and done. They think they need to blow this whole thing up and start over. I'm going to give you my thoughts about that as well. And as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to start off with that because it's not much to really elaborate on that. But I would just say this. Coach Smith is I think Coach Smith is a little bit older than I am. I mean, I'll be, I'll be 39 in a few days, basically. My birthday is December 14th, so my birthday is coming up within the next week. Coach Smith was born in March of '82. I was born in December '82, so he's literally he's a very young coach, very young, has a lot of experience, but he's a very young coach, and this is his first year as the Falcons coach. And right now we are right behind. Basically, we're a game behind being in the playoffs. And with that being said, that is, I don't see a problem with his job performance. I know some people give it a C or a D, and I understand it. I'm not really gonna give him a letter grade until the end of the year, but as of right now, I don't see why would you get rid of him and want to start over with the hand that he was dealt. Yeah, I know some people say, "Oh, Will sold a bad bill of goods." He came in talking all this stuff about what he want to do and how he's going to change things, and the aggressiveness of how he's going to be able to turn this team around. Um, he has turned his team around. You know what I mean? He's turned his team around. If you don't know it or not, but I just don't understand it. It's like he's at 5-7 right now. He's one game out of the play. He's literally a half a game out of the playoffs right now. If you look at the wild card race, it's a 17. Yeah, he's literally he's literally a game out of the playoff picture. If Atlanta goes on a 4, I think they got 5 games left. They go if they win maybe 4 out of the last 5 games, they're in. I believe that they're probably in because they're gonna have the head-to-head against San Francisco. I think they got another head-to-head against Carolina, so that's really significant. So I think he's done an okay job overall. I made a video on my YouTube channel not too long ago asking, was this improvement or disappointment? And I've been going back and forth with that because it is kind of disappointing when you see some games that are lost the way they're lost, but it's an improvement because he's basically dealing with a lot of players. I mean, almost 85, 95% of the guys who was here last year, and he's already won more games in less amount of time. So I think there's improvement easily there, and I don't see why not just keep him on for another year at least. I mean, year 2 is going to be really telling on how this team plays out because you're going to have more. You're going to be able to get rid of more people that he doesn't want. He's going to add more people that he'll be able to bring in. I think the salary cap is going to be a little bit higher. So with that being said, he should be able to establish himself more as the coach that he is and have his vision and his fingerprints more on the team. So I don't think he's one and then done. I don't subscribe to that at all. Actually, I believe that you should give him at least personally, I think you should give him at least 4 years. Especially if you're going to continue the route that you're going. You won 5 games with a depleted roster, no wide receiver number 1. Your defense is not where you want it to be. The running game is not where you want it to be. It's still a work in progress on the offensive line. The front 7 has shown they've shown spurts of greatness. To be honest with you, they've done very well at getting at the quarterback. Maybe 50% of the time. I mean, 50%, maybe 60% of the time. The front 7 looks like some world beaters, and then you got the other 30 to 40% where they can't even stop the run, and that's the type of stuff that needs to be that needs to be worked on. It needs to be so. The only way that's going to be worked on if he continues to do what he does, and he's going to have to continue to evaluate talent. He's going to have to continue to bring his people in, and after 1 year, not even 1 year, after 12 games, I don't see where you say, oh. Let's just go ahead and find somebody else. I mean, who else are you going to find? I mean, even when, Dan Quinn was fired, nobody really knew what type of coach that should have came in. Nobody really had any answers to what type of coach that should have came here. Everybody was just saying, okay, we just need somebody who can help win games. And then, people already talking about, or they've been talking about the Matt Ryan situation. I'm not even going to go down that road because that's a whole nother can of worms I'm not going to get into, whether if we should keep Matt Ryan, get rid of Matt Ryan, or whatever the case may be. I personally don't have a problem with him being on the team, neither here or there. I just know that we're probably stuck with him because of salary cap situation. And I'm going to ask the question about, just like I said about Arthur Smith, who do you bring in if Matt Ryan is not going to be here? I mean, nobody, it's like people want to make the moves, but nobody really knows what they want if they make the moves. Okay, what's the solution? Who's going to be here if you're going to get rid of this person? Who's going to be here if you get rid of Arthur Smith? Who's going to be here in place of Matt Ryan? Like, I just don't know. I'm not saying that, keep Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's the guy. I'm not going to say that because I just don't know. And, I just don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 years. But I will say, definitely for the coach, I think you should keep the coach at least another 2 to 3 years. I'm serious. I think if you got 5 wins this year, you're probably, I'll say by the end of this year, you're probably going to end up getting 7 wins. So you're probably end up going 7-10. Now, that's realistically. You probably end up going 7-10. Next year, you'll probably build off that. So that's a 4-win jump to a 7-win jump. So next year after that, you could probably from a 7-win jump to a 10-win jump. I'm just looking at it like that, and I don't see where, I don't see how that's not possible. So with that being said, let's just let him do what he does. Just let him do what he do. It's still a work in progress. It's only 12 games in. You can't get rid of people too fast like that. So as far as him being one and done, no, I don't think so. And I actually like the job that he's done overall. It's just that I'm just more disappointed when I look at things that, like, man, what is going on? Why are we losing these games? We are in good position to do so. I just think he needs to learn. I feel like he needs to learn how to coach a little bit better. And I'm just looking at it from a sideline. So I'm not an expert, but it just seems like you don't see where certain adjustments are made, or the adjustments that are made are not really the adjustments to close the door on a game. And it's not like the we're blowing leads like in the past. It's just like, man, you got the opportunity right here. Let's get aggressive. And I don't see us getting as aggressive as we should at times. Maybe it's a little bit of being a little timid. I don't know. But I just think that all that stuff will work out. Like I said, this is his first year on the job. He's learning. I mean, even though he's been around for a while, but as head coach, you can tell it's a totally different beast. So we'll continue to evaluate as that goes. 5 games left. If they win 4 out of the next 5, I feel that they're in the playoffs. But realistically, I think they're going to probably win 2 out of the next 5, maybe 3 and 3. But we'll see, and we'll continue to talk about that as it goes. Now, something you guys been waiting for. Let's get into the Georgia Southern football team. This coaching staff hire. Oh man, it is man. I can't tell you how. I can't tell you guys how excited I am. I just don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna put on the shades. I'm not. If you know me from last year, I used to wear the shades all the time. This is one of the situations where I want to, I'm gonna save the shades for signing day. I'm going to save the shades for signing day. If you're watching me on YouTube, I got these aviator shades. Man, I used to wear these last year. I thought I looked really cool. But if you know me from back then, when I was doing the same thing, when I talked about Georgia Southern recruiting last year, I was big on the shades. But I'm going to get back to that. I'm not going to do that right now. I don't want to, I don't want to be too hyped right now. But let's talk about these coaching hires. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the aggressive recruiting tactics Coach Helton is doing. Phenomenal job what he's doing. First and foremost, after the coaching change, the regime actually changed. Though we already knew that Coach Whitley was going to stay on staff. Coach Whitley staying on staff, that was amazing. I love the fact that he's there. Cornerbacks coach. I already talked about what he can do in a previous video as far as being a cornerbacks coach. All the great guys who came through from Like I said, I'll repeat them again, from Vildor to Marquavian Brinson, Kendall Vildor, Marquavian Brinson, Kendrick Duncan, Jesse Liptrot, Donald Rutledge, like we still got Derek Canteen still here, Tyler Bryan. I even forgot one person. I hate the fact that I forgot. Sean Freeman is another one. Oh goodness, what was the kid name that played for the Jaguars? Oh man, God, I forgot him. But yeah, another good defensive back that ended up moving on to the NFL. Man, if I remember that name, I'm gonna I'll put it up here in the pinned column or the comment section, or even you guys would know who he is. I just forgot his name completely. End up going undrafted, end up going to the Jacksonville Jaguars as a undrafted free agent defensive back. I mean, he has been putting guys in the NFL for a long time, so it's good to see that that he's doing big things back at the position that he's in. Now, we also know that Ryan Applin, former Arkansas State assistant, also played quarterback at Arkansas State. He is now going to be the tight end coach. He's going to be the tight end coach. I think he's going to be a passing game coordinator or something like that, or he's going to be assistant with the passing game. Great hire right there, because he has a pretty good mind to actually be offensive coordinator someday. So that is a really good look. As far as the offensive coordinator, we get Brian Ellis. We also get the running backs coach, Ephraim Reed from Michigan State. Phenomenal pickup right there on both areas. Brian Ellis was the offensive coordinator at Western Kentucky. And the running backs coach, Ephraim Reed, he was an offensive analysis at Michigan State. So those guys, great offensive minds. And it just goes right along with Coach Helton, because Coach Helton and Brian Ellis were together at USC. Speaking of USC, strength and conditioning coach, we finally got one, and that's going to be Coach Robert Steiner, strength and conditioning coach from USC, bringing him in for the job. And he has a pretty good resume as well. He has been to places like LSU, Mississippi State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and USC. Those are the 5 places that, look, you look at all those places right there. Cincinnati. Cincinnati. What can you say about Cincinnati? Hopefully they will bust up this college football playoff. That's a whole nother story for another day, but great. He's been to Cincinnati, he's been to Notre Dame, he's been to LSU, Mississippi State. He was the director of football, sports, and performance at USC, and he was serving. Before then, he was the assistant director of football, strength and conditioning. And this is one thing, and I'm not going to put their name out there, but I really was. I didn't really think about this, but somebody came to me and asked me, like, who's the strength and conditioning coach and why these boys aren't beefed up? And I didn't ever think about it until it was told to me. And I looked back, I was like, yeah, some of these boys are looking kind of small out there, and there's a lot of injuries on the team. I never put 2 and 2 together. But I think Robert Steiner is going to change that. Nothing against the strength and conditioning coach that was here before. I can't even remember his name. I do apologize. But I think Robert Steiner is going to change you talking about framing the culture? He is going to frame the culture with strength and conditioning to start out with. So he's going to, all these guys that we're pulling in from Power 5 schools. Robert, first of all, Clay Helton is from a Power 5 school. So you pull, Steiner, you pull Ephraim Reed, you're getting guys down. Not even the director of player personnel from Auburn. You're pulling guys down here, and I even forgot about him. You're pulling guys down here that are ready to go off the drip. Ryan Smith, he's the general manager of Georgia Southern football. You got guys that are ready to go. These are not guys that are going to be learning on the job training. These are guys that have already been established, from the Kevin Whitleys all the way down to the Robert Steiners. All of these guys know what they're doing. Yeah, Ryan Applin is a group of five guy. Brian Ellis is a group of five guy. But Brian Ellis has coached, was offensive coordinator at USC. So we have a lot of experience here. And I think that when you talk about changing the mindset of Georgia Southern, I'm going to tell you right now, the option is probably going to be ran a little bit, but I'm looking at the way this thing is setting up. It's gone. It's officially going to be gone. No more days of under center triple option, no dive option. We're going to be very aggressive at what we do on the field offensively. One thing I don't like right now, we do not have and we do not know who the defensive coordinator is going to be. This only leads me to believe, and I don't know, and I'm not really sure. Maybe by the time of this recording, by the time you hear this, you will probably have a defensive coordinator. But right now, we don't know. But this leads me to believe that we may get a defensive coordinator that's on the staff of one of these four teams left in the playoffs. Or, I'll back up. Maybe they're one of these teams that's actually doing a bowl game right now and probably going to wait till after that bowl game is over. Now, me personally, I would like for it to be one of these teams that's one of the last four left in the playoffs. I would love that, but I think I set that bar a little bit too high because there are other teams that are playing bowl games later on this year and into next year that they probably don't want to tamper with that particular team right now, kind of like the NFLS type thing. So we may not get that information, but we never know. We may get that information by the end of the week. I'll be here to talk about it. Once it comes through, I'll have it up on my YouTube channel, and I'll definitely probably be talking about it on the next episode of this show. So that's basically where we're at right now. We don't have a defensive coordinator. As far as recruiting go, man, before I close, I don't even know where to start with the recruiting, but Coach Helton is already been trying to get anybody and everybody who wants to play for Georgia Southern come play for Georgia Southern. Now, we already got some great guys here. Like the Najee Thompsons, the Tyler Brides, got the Cam Ransoms, Connor Kaliski, Segelski. Man, I keep messing that up. Segelski. The two running backs we still got with Joe Green and Jalen White. We still got those guys. Derwin Burgess at receiver. We still got Amari Jones talking about returning. We have some pieces here already that would do great under Coach Helton, I believe, personally. I believe that. I totally believe. But when you look at what Coach Helton's doing, he's trying to pull kids that's already committed. Guys, there's a group of a couple of brothers that decide to go to Western Kentucky from Georgia, trying to pull them down here back to come back home. And, that is very exciting to see when you're talking about brothers or a family that want to see their children play. They don't have to go across the country to go see their child play or watch their young boys play. If they're right up the road in Statesboro because they're from South Georgia, it makes it all a wow. Get the opportunity for these guys to play together. We already got a couple of talking about defensive backs and defensive back Coach Whitley. Man, did you see the guys that we're getting right now? The Ashton Whitners, Mark Stampley. That's the guy I wanted to talk about in my last video when I was driving home from work. Mark Stampley, player, I think he's 2.5A, player of the year. I mean, we're getting these kind of players coming to Georgia Southern in our secondary, and you already know how bad our secondary was. Our secondary just was not where it needed to be, but now we're starting to get established, bringing guys in that's going to be ready to go. I believe these guys are going to be ready to go, and I think Coach Helton is going to get these guys on the field if they're ready to go. There's, one thing that kind of handcuffed us last year was the fact that we prioritized seniority over talent. This is why when you saw the young guys come in and play, they played so fast and furious, and they were ready to go, and they were actually successful moving the ball down the field. They was actually successful showing some progress. But then again, we were prioritizing seniority, and I get it. I get it. But I think those things are out of the window. I don't think we have to worry about that. I think some of these young guys are going to come and play. Some of these guys are transferring in. They're going to be ready to play. And I think this is one of the reasons why I think not only that we're going to be able to compete in the East with what we have, I think with his coaching staff and his aggressive recruiting, we're going to be able to compete for a Sun Belt title. I firmly believe that. What Coach Helton is doing is nothing short of amazing. And he's already saying, hey, look, from Thursday to Sunday, he's going back on the road. Because Sunday is next week. He's going back on the road to try to get as many players who want to commit right now. And I mean, you just look at what's going on here. And I mean, I'm just going to name a few players that have already that's already committed so far for 2022. I want to try to get some of these guys. Okay, these are the hard commits really quick. I want to just run through everybody's names. Ashton Whitner from Greenville, South Carolina. Pachon Wembley, inside offensive lineman from Noonan, Georgia. Shout out to Noonan. I got family in Noonan. I need to go see them next time I visit. Griffin, Georgia. Jacob Hammonds, linebacker. That's committed. Nate Lewis from Hazelhurst, Georgia. Chandler Strong from Warner Robins from Houston County, not Houston for some of you people. Some people say that wrong. That's not from Georgia. It's Houston County. Mark Stampley, like I said, from Stars Mill, Fayetteville, Georgia. Man, this kid right here looks so special. You need to look at the tape on this guy. Another safety, Zaire Thornton, another one from Alpharetta, from Milton. Dalen Cobb is an athlete from Washington Wilkes, Washington, Georgia. This kid to me, he reminds me of another Amari Jones or Derwin Burgess. He looks like he do a little bit of everything. MJ Stroud, edge rusher out of Alcovey, Covington, Georgia. Tristan Jordan, Denmark, from Alpharetta, Georgia. Kevin Speed, Cairo, Georgia. This kid right here looks like he could play quarterback or defensive back. He's an athlete, looks really, really good. Kai Teo from Columbia, South Carolina. Spring Valley. Wow, he's from Spring Valley. It's not too far from my neck of the woods. I live up here in South Carolina. That's interesting. And Deshaun Davis from Cornelius, North Carolina. We pulled somebody from North Carolina. That's really interesting that we got him. Defensive lineman, the 6'2", 268. And one transfer we got was Christian Varner. He is coming here to play edge rush as well. Immediate eligibility. He's going to be playing with his former teammate, not Kevon Glenn. Kevon Glenn is, oh goodness, I can't remember his name. Kevon Glenn is from Florida State. The other guy that transferred last year from North Carolina is going to be playing with his former teammate. So that's pretty cool to see that he is going to be playing with us as well. So that I just can't wait to see all of this take place. And I mean, it's just Coach Helton is just on a roll right now, trying to pull as many players as he can and get these guys here to ready to play, ready to do big things, and compete for not only Sun Belt, but we're going to be trying to get some real big bowl wins as well. So Kadri Jackson, that's who it is. Kadri Jackson is the former teammate of Christian Varner. So those guys are going to be playing together once again at Georgia Southern. Like I said, I love what I see here. I love what's going on here. What Coach Helton is doing at Georgia Southern is definitely changing the identity of Georgia Southern, changing what we can do over here. We're going to be looking at teams like a Coastal Carolina. We're going to be definitely looking at teams like Appalachian State. We're going to be looking at teams like Georgia State. You look on the other side like a Louisiana, and the guys who are coming in, the James Madisons, the Marshalls, the Old Dominions, the Southern Miss. We're going to be looking at these guys like, you know what? We're going to be modernizing our offense. We're going to be being more aggressive on defense. We're going to bring these guys in here that's going to be able to do some things, and we're definitely going to be punching you guys in the mouth just like you think you can do to us. So this is the type of stuff that I can't wait to see. We already got some great guys that are already here. You turn that around and add these new pieces. You change how things are going to be when it comes to the offense. I think we got a recipe for greatness here. I think some of these kids are going to end up being great. Some of the coaching staff is going to be looking great. We're going to be in a really good position to be successful. And I saw this coming once Coach Helton was coming in, and I was like, wait a minute, like we may have something here. And I know it's still early, but when you look at the writing on the wall, what I see is nothing but situations where we can get better, and better. And hopefully that plays out this way, because even with some of the kids we got now, I'm looking at like I said, we still got guys like Sam Kennerson, you know what I mean? I just talked about Derwin Birdie. We still got Mizell Williams. We got guys like that are really able to do some big things. Quinn Williams. I mean, he had a phenomenal season this year. You also talk about oh God, what's his name? I'm gonna let you know his name right now. I just did a spotlight on him. Eldrick Robinson II, freshman. I just went back. They talk about seniority over talent. I mean, Eldrick Robinson is the epitome of next man up. I mean, next man up. He did it with all the guys like Bradley Glenn, when he went down, Trent Edwards went down, he came in and stepped in and did big things. Now think about it, with these guys getting a year under their belt and you got more guys coming in ready to play, and not saying that, I mean, what are we talking about here? We're talking, I can envision a turnaround really quick. I don't see where that's going to be, where that can't be possible. So I'm really, really excited. Hopefully you guys are excited as well. I've ran over the 25, 30 minute mark that I normally do these episodes, but it's all because I'm excited. This is a really good time. I cannot wait till next week when we do the signing day, because I will definitely be here for that. I'll be here for the signing day, and we'll be talking about that. I may do that live. So we'll talk about that once we get to that point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I thank you guys enough. Shout out once again, always, the gear that I purchased from Southern Exchange is not an ad, but if you want Georgia Southern gear, I highly recommend going to those guys. They make very, very good, very, very, very good Georgia Southern apparel, as you can see. I mean, look, the sweater, the hat. I mean, how could you not like the hat? The hat this is what it is right now. I got some other clothes. I got some other apparel that I'm gonna be sporting down the road as well. So, man, I'm gonna have to buy some more stuff from you guys, man. I just have to. So that's pretty much the close of this podcast. I really appreciate it if you made it this far. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give this podcast a 5-star rating. If you don't mind, give it a 5-star rating. Hit the like button on the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Check out all the other content I have, not only over here, but on my gaming channel. I do a gaming channel as well, as you can see behind me if you're watching on YouTube. I got a lot of gaming stuff. So I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for the support. You guys are amazing. I really, really appreciate it. You guys take care. You guys be blessed. And peace.